We are DeWalt. We're the ones who grind it out. The ones using materials from all over the world to build the things that build America right here in America. And there's no place we'd rather be. Land of the free, tools of the brave.
Today on Built to Last, a champion's champion.
I thought we needed a big event where we brought all the kids from the 10 park locations, but what we didn't have was money.
A 50-year legacy, and won't you be my neighbor?
It's their neighborhood. They have that much more pride about what they're building.
Put down that remote and pick up a hammer. It's time for Built to Last.
Built to Last is brought to you by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters, Labor and Management Committee and the Boy Scouts of America Pathway to Adventure Council. Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Monica Pedersen.
And I'm Mark Nilsson. We're here at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Apprentice and Training Center, where the hands that build America are learning their craft.
It's true. Tradespeople are such an integral thread in the fabric of this nation. And it's the endless hard work of the members of the labor family that have helped make this country great.
Our first story exemplifies the American spirit, shows us how inspiring individuals overcome every challenge and how we are strongest when we stand together.
When I started working with the children in 1965, the Kennedy Foundation gave $10,000 to the Chicago Park District to open up some of their facilities for people with disabilities. I was 20-some years old and said, why not? I never met anybody with any special disabilities. So parents brought their kids. Some kids were blind, some kids were in wheelchairs, others couldn't hear. A lot of them had what we would call today emotional problems.
Some people were upset with her because they felt like she was putting these individuals with disabilities on display.
In those days, people, children and adults, were in institutions or hidden in the closet in people's homes.
And she really believed in individuals being fit and healthy.
I put on track meets. We put on shows. We even put on Mary Poppins, where I taught the kids singing and dancing, all the things I love to do.
And they were doing a lot of different activities, art programming, and theater programming. But that's really where it started for the Chicago Park District.
Actually, in August of 1967, that Dan Shannon, vice president of the Park District, and William McFettridge, who was president of the Chicago Park District, came out to my parents' night for the end of day camp. And they were flabbergasted at what the abilities these children had. They said, well, this is like everybody else. They made their own costumes and they sang and they danced and did everything that everybody else does. They asked how many children are like that in the Chicago area. I didn't know, had no idea. What can be done to get more people to bring their children to come to our parks to get this kind of a program?
And I think she really felt like we can show the world what they can do if we just give them a chance, give them an opportunity, give them a venue.
I didn't know what it all was going to be, but I thought we needed a big event where we brought all the kids from the 10 park locations and to do track and field. But what we didn't have was money. So I called Dr. William Freeber. He was head of the Outdoor Education Recreation Department of Southern Illinois University. And he said, well, we should make it bigger. And he said, you ought to write to Mrs. Shriver. They gave us $25,000, and indeed, that's the first games, July 20th, 1968, at Soldier Field.
You know, organized labor and the unions, building and trades really stepped up.
We had welders, carpenters, electricians. President McFettridge was head of the biggest international union in the country, and he was president of the Park District. They ran the Pan Am Games, they were the professionals. I didn't have to do anything.
1,000 athletes and their families came to Chicago that weekend to participate in the very first Special Olympics. They came from 26 states and Canada, and they came ready to compete.
entering Soldier Field, I just wanted everything to go well. So my camp counselor, gym teacher mind was only thinking about we wanted to make sure the 50-yard dash was on time. We wanted to make sure kids had an absolute great time, and it was fun.
Eunice Kennedy Shriver opened the games.
Ladies and gentlemen, in ancient Rome, the gladiators went into the arena with these words on their lips: "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt."
The goal was to be competition and the best winner, but it was to compete and enjoy yourself. So it was a fun day, a happy day, so parents could see, and teachers, that these children could learn the skill. And Mrs. Shriver saw that potential. And after our games that first day, she incorporated Special Olympics International.
Now it's 5.5 million athletes worldwide, 172 countries.
You know, my son's been involved in the Special Olympics for years. It just sets me down to reality of what's important in life.
Every boy needs a foundation he can stand on, to embrace opportunity, to overcome obstacles. Because this is the time to equip a boy with what he needs for where he's going. And where he's going is anywhere he wants.
Keeping restaurants and hotels up to date with the latest design trends is a constant challenge. Finding qualified contractors isn't at finishingchicago.com. We work with top designers and general contractors who use the latest painting, drywall finishing, and wall covering techniques in Chicagoland's premier hotels and restaurants. The hospitality industry relies on finishingchicago.com as its free resource to find quality finishing contractors. For a great finish, start with finishingchicago.com.
At Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions, we take great pride in making a positive difference in the lives of people. With the broadest portfolio in the industry and the technical performance to back it up, you can design and install with confidence. Our ceiling construction expertise, training, and pre-engineered ceiling solutions make it easy for you to seamlessly transition from one end of the building to the other. Improve construction efficiencies and keep every job on time, on budget, and on the mark with Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions. Faster, easier, better.
As the flags unfurl for the 50th anniversary of the Special Olympics, the members of the trades continue to support these amazing athletes. In our next story, we'll visit a labor family for whom the games are truly special.
You know, my son's been involved in the Special Olympics for years. And there's not too many events that I miss. And when I come back from that, it just sets me down to reality of what's important in life.
Every week I hang out with him. It's like, he reminds me of what's important in life. You know, he reminds me, in my hectic day, Tommy's a reminder to slow it down.
And it sits you down to think, maybe this is what life's all about. Seeing the joy in their hearts and seeing what they can do.
The individuals we serve with intellectual disabilities are actually probably more evolved than most of us, you know, just by their joy, their courage, their sportsmanship.
Many times they're forgotten. They're forgotten by the world. They're forgotten by society.
The word is marginalized, and it's a good word because I think like the rest of us, we all have deficiencies.
Government funding for programs that support people with disabilities is tight at all levels.
Tradesmen see that. The union people see that. We all have an open heart to give. It's not only in the past, but the present and the future.
You know, getting to know Keith a lot better, he's a huge advocate for his son, but also for all the athletes. You know, all of us want to aspire to keep playing golf or basketball or whatever it is, and I think that's what Keith and his son really look at. And I think one of the things that's really I marvel at is that he brings so many more things to it. He doesn't just say it, he does it through, you know, the Carpenters Union, Regional Council of Carpenters. They come with money, they come with support.
The Special Olympics is probably one of the #1 programs that unites people with all sorts of disabilities, high disabilities or more functioning, with the different tiered groups that the Special Olympics has. I mean, they have it from the lowest tier group of people with disabilities to the well-functioned athletes that are very talented.
He's got a very basic approach. He doesn't cover too much ground with his bat. It's quick, it's a quick motion. It comes from his hips. He's a powerful guy, and the results show.
We think that the individuals advocate through sport and show the world their abilities instead of their disabilities. And I think that's a really strong message.
They're out there, they're having fun with their peers. They're building relationships with their coaches. They're building relationships with volunteers that could last a lifetime.
A couple of the things that the athletes do that a lot of people don't realize is they're like, you know, everybody should win a medal or everybody should get first or nobody's a loser. One thing I will tell you after seeing our athletes all these years is they do know when they get a bronze and they want to get a gold. And it allows them to go back and train.
He loves winning, he's very competitive. However, it's all about the fun. It's all about the teammates.
I was hitting against my buddy's team, and he almost hit the ball out of the park in the field, and I robbed him. I went over the fence and robbed him.
1, 2, 3, champion! Their whole world gears around that event, whether it be bowling or a track event or basketball or baseball. They look forward to that all month, all year. I have a tournament, I have a competition event. I have to be there.
I've been in softball since I was 16. Not 1 year off, I have not 1 year off in softball.
I think that's translated into really good employees, that they're really good employees. They're dependable, they're loyal, they accept failure and try to do better next time. Those are really great attributes to have.
Here's a man with autism that is not afraid to stop and strike a conversation with a neighbor. To, you know, as we're leaving the grocery store, he's the one, not me, he's the one who stops and holds open the door for that next person.
Our athletes are leaders. They are people that are going to own, and they currently do. Some of them own their own businesses. Some of them have gone so far in the last 50 years, but what's next? And I think what's next is we're not working for them or helping them. We're working with them, and they're helping us, quite honestly.
Yeah, I teach. Yeah, I coach, but I'm also a friend.
We're kind of like friends, but kind of like brothers too.
He's very comfortable with me putting him in. Sometimes I'll put him in some uncomfortable situations, and just knowing that I'm there, I think gives him the confidence to learn that skill.
You know, I think when people come and see and kind of feel it, they get hooked.
It feels very great to have my family and my friends and everything with me. So, I see at the tournaments.
You'll have thousands of people at one event, all glad to be there, all a sense of life and all a sense of being together. And the Special Olympics does that. They've done it for over 50 years on a worldwide event.
And to launch its next 50 years, the Special Olympics will unveil the Eternal Flame of Hope Monument, a new source of its Olympic flame, in front of the event's original home, Soldier Field in Chicago.
Now, instead of Athens, Greece, where they're currently lit for the World Games or National Games, it's going to be lit in Chicago for Special Olympics. We're getting a lot of help from the trades and Chicago Federation of Labor.
There's not a labor leader out there that I know of that doesn't have a kind heart, that doesn't open it up to help the disadvantaged. Otherwise, they really wouldn't be a labor leader.
We can't do it without them.
Just over 1,000 athletes participated in the inaugural games in 1968. 50 years later, over 5 million athletes compete in the Special Olympics.
I'm from the neighborhood, lived in the neighborhood, maybe 4 blocks over, born and raised over here, still have family still over here.
When you need a concrete contractor for your commercial project, you can't waste time waiting through countless unproven contractors who don't specialize in the job type you need or service your area. ConcreteIL.com lets you browse Northern Illinois' top contractors to find the perfect fit for your exact needs. You can filter our vetted list of contractors by both job type and location, and even request proposals directly through the site. Thinking commercial concrete? Think ConcreteIL.com.
Meet the new family of Blaze laser measures from Bosch. Go ahead, turn it on and start measuring. It's that simple. The Blaze family offers a wide range of functions to tackle any measuring job. Extend your reach with accuracy up to a 1/16 of an inch. With Bluetooth-enabled devices, easily transfer measurements to your smartphone or tablet with free Bosch apps. Reach farther, work faster, and stay accurate with the Bosch Blaze family of laser measures. Measure on.
When building structures that scrape the sky, proper support is everything. When it comes to the people who erect those buildings, support is just as important. We all know construction creates jobs, but all too often the communities in which we build miss out.
At Clayco, ever since I've been with the company, it's always been wherever you're working, hire in the community.
We always look to leave the communities that we work in better than how we found them. You know, we're not just building buildings, we really need to help build communities.
When you have folks that are within the environment that they're working in and it's their neighborhood, they have that much more pride about what they're building.
We right now at the CCHS, Cook County Hospital, medical offices building.
This facility is taking place of the old Fantas building. It has dental units on the first floor. The second, third, and fourth floor, those are all exam rooms. And then fifth floor has got conference rooms. And sixth floor on up is offices and executives on a ninth.
If you think about the end user every day that you're building this facility for and who's actually coming here and why, it's a building of need.
I've been in this neighborhood all my life. I am 28 years of age. I'm from the neighborhood, lived in the neighborhood, maybe 4 blocks over. I take a lot of pride in this because it's like it's changing people's lives. This will save people's lives as well.
Mindful that the community is medically underserved and underemployed, the contractors here partner with diversity and inclusion experts to add to their workforce.
And so we go with them and saying, hey, we need a painter, we need a carpenter, and they'll send us a list of people.
I actually went to a hiring event in this neighborhood at Malcolm X College. I met up with 2 representatives from Jade.
And they interviewed them, put them through a process, and then they hired them on. So what that means, they'll bring them into the union as an apprentice.
You're bringing in a lot of people who never even been into the trade, who's trying to find themselves.
Just like a doctor goes to college, skilled labor starts pretty much the same like a college. It's a 4-year program, 4 to 5 in some of the areas, and they're learning bits and pieces, and by the 5th and 6th year, they're putting it all together, and they're doing it on their own.
You know, when you start as an apprentice and you start working, you kind of are in the CRCC family.
You build a whole new family outside of your home, you know, and it's all brothers of all different race, ethnics, background. It's like we all work for one big, huge company, but we're in all different locations.
They have some great foremen who are very careful with their apprentices, who take their time to teach us stuff. Quite a few guys that have been trying to help me out, you know what I mean, that's really been embracing me and showing me the ropes.
When I was younger, I tried to always, as I'm working, watch other people work.
Our culture at Clayco is to mentor and teach.
What's very important at the CRCC is the fact that our journeymen look out for our apprentices. They teach them, they show them their skills.
You're really a leader, and so when you have those apprentices, you have to let them know that some things you can't do and some things you can do.
My first partner was an older man. He was in the 60s, and I learned a lot from that guy.
They'll show you what you're doing and tell you that's not right and this is right.
He showed me the ways that working slower, smarter, you can be faster than just running.
And that's what helps you along the way. That's what make you a better carpenter.
I used to cut every board piece by piece by measuring out one board, cutting it, then measuring the next board. He's like, no, put everything you have in front of you, line it up, cut them all together, and you'll be ahead of me.
He picks up stuff quick. I challenge him, ask him how he would do this or that, and he, with his answers, he's really surprising me.
I take what he gives me to heart, and I use it every day.
Right now, I am learning how to install cabinets and lockers, reading blueprints, reading floor plans.
All the knowledge that we have as a carpenters, master carpenters, if you want to call that, we can't take this to grave. If we're going to start taking that to grave, not teach all the young kids, then that trade is pretty much gonna die.
It is hard, but nothing in life is easy.
First of all, you have to be determined. That's the number one thing. You have to be determined, you have to be goal-oriented, you have to be driven.
It's a lifestyle. Every second of your life, you're thinking on how to make something better or improve what you're doing to make it faster and efficient.
When we give someone the opportunity to enter into the trades, it's not just so that they can work on this building, but so that they can finish this building and then go to the next building and the next building and the next building. And then they can reach back and help people behind them to become apprentices and to enter the trades.
It's all about what you're gonna have after you finish working. What can you give back to your kids after I turn 60 years old and I'm thinking about retiring?
And the idea really is to build the pipeline of people who are in the trade so that over time, that pipeline is robust, it's diverse, it's made up of all different races and genders, and that we're able to take that pipeline and those workers with us on projects across the city, no matter where they may be.
I got little cousins, friends, and that nature as well that see me and be like, what you do? Instead of my work construction, they be out of their mind, like, really?
They don't have to be on the outside looking in. The school is always welcoming new sisters and brothers.
In our community, it's really like, you don't have nothing to really inspire you and nobody to look to for inspiration. So hopefully I can do that.
Everybody's proud of the building, right? It's just a wonderful looking facility, the design, the concept, what its purpose is for the community. If that doesn't make you feel good and want to just continue to building, I don't know what does.
I actually drove someone past this building yesterday. I actually did, just to show them this is where I'm working.
It doesn't matter if you're a teacher or a teamster or a carpenter or a doctor. Everyone comes together today to honor labor.
Stabila lasers and levels, designed for contractors that perform high-risk layouts every day. These accurate and durable lasers have a working range up to 1,800 feet. Square your next job site with confidence. Stabila, how true pros measure.
I was running a pro shop.
It was in the military.
Accounting degree.
Dog groomer. 8 hours a day sitting on the computer.
I knew I wanted to be an electrician.
I joined their trainee program.
They're willing to pay you to go to school.
It was just cool.
You learn about motor controls, you learn about fire alarms.
The pay is great.
The union provides the benefits.
Health coverage. It gives me a great retirement plan. I like working with my hands.
Setting me up for the rest of my life.
The all-new SkillSaw heavy-duty worm drive table saw with stand. The world's only full-size table saw with worm drive gearing. Delivering unmatched durability, unwavering power, and unrivaled torque. So you get better results. Faster. Nothing compares to worm drive gearing. SkillSaw. Stay true.
You know what Americans love? An honest wage, a good weekend, and a parade. And hot dogs and baseball.
My dad was a labor leader in the 60s and the 70s. He was 26 years old when he was elected to represent 23,000 steelworkers at U.S. Steel.
I've always wanted to learn a skill, so I took a welding class. And the first thing that they did was they handed out flyers for job positions. And I answered the first one, which is for the ironworkers.
My father was a union pipe fitter. My father-in-law raised 9 kids as a local union electrician out of 176 in Joliet.
My sister, who's a part of the painters union, invited me out, and I'm a teacher, so I'm also a part of a union.
It's really exciting to come from a labor family. My dad was IBEW for 37 years, worked on the Milwaukee Railroad, and I had an opportunity to work in 3 different unions myself, twice with the Teamsters and one with the Painters Union.
And I can tell you that there's no middle class in the United States without unions.
Today is a celebration of the history of the labor movement.
It doesn't matter if you're a teacher or a teamster or a carpenter or a doctor. Everyone comes together today to honor labor.
We have games for all the kids. It's a day off for us to just relax and just really hang out.
One of the American values that I see on a day like today is just the beauty that's in diversity. We have people from this 10th ward, but others who have come in as well. We see people from all different races, nationalities. We see men, we see women, we see children.
I have my 4-year-old with me, and he's an official member of the Brotherhood of International Toddlers.
We know the Labor Day Festival is important because it reminds the people in the United States that working men and women deserve a livable wage.
We're not teaching labor history like we should. We're not highlighting labor like we should, and that's the reason why we're doing this.
You see the carpenters have this beautiful float with the hammer on it. You see the Teamsters here with their big trucks. It's really exciting to see.
There's even an inter-union motorcycle club.
We do charity work, help out with different stuff. So you get to, meet carpenters, pipe fitters, and everybody, having fun and get to know each other outside of work. Together, you have a good time. On the job site, you got to work together also, because we all work on top of each other. So you got to kind of get along and have a good time.
I think many people do not understand that labor unions are working on their behalf even if they are not members. That labor unions are the ones who are lobbying and working hard to keep wages up, to make sure that our workplaces are safe, to make sure that working conditions for everybody are good.
Organized labor is here to protect, to make sure that minorities, that women, not just on the pay scale, but also on the workplace protection scale, get protected.
People gave their blood, sweat, and tears, and sometimes their lives for what we have today, those benefits.
The Village of Franklin Park is proud to have 3 different unions. One is the firefighters, one is the Fraternal Order of Police, and our Public Works Department. And it's important that we work together, and it's important that we show respect for each other.
I think in a lot of ways we've seen so much divisiveness around our land these days, and words are powerful, and we have to use our words in a way that explains that even though we might have a difference of opinion, it doesn't mean that we have to be disagreeable towards one another.
It's really great when you see management and labor come together, because great things happen. When there's cooperation, you have success.
And when you have public participation like this, those who aren't part of it see the magnitude of this.
That's all for this episode of Built to Last. We'll see you next time.
And remember to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
No funny jokes?
So many people tweeted about the jokes.
Mean tweets?
Everyone's a critic. My mom liked them.
My dad loved it.